Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because, well, we're looking at something truly special. We're stepping into the pages of Carlos Moro's profound follow-up book, Reflections 2, The Art of Feeling Before Believing. Now, I want you to just take a deep breath, settle in, and let's take this at a nice, unhurried pace, all right? This isn't about rushing to the finish line or cramming your brain with raw data. Actually, scratch that, it's more like pausing, reflecting, and recognizing the hidden grace in our everyday lives.
Okay, let's dive into this. Moro establishes the absolute core of our explainer right off the bat. He writes, "We live in a world that asks for proof before listening, explanations before presence, certainties before silence, and, it's so true. We are completely conditioned to demand clinical precision and absolute truths. But Moro, he challenges us to invert that whole paradigm. He asks us to embrace presence first, to literally feel the resonance of an idea before we go demanding the hard data to back it up."
And that brings us to this incredibly heavy thought from Jose Saramago: our greatest tragedy is not knowing what to do with life. Let that land for just a second. This shifts our mindset perfectly, doesn't it? Moro's book is basically an attempt to navigate this exact universal search for meaning. Because we're all trying to figure out what to do with our lives, right? And sometimes the answers just aren't in those grand, sweeping gestures, but in the quiet, everyday moments we tend to completely overlook.
So, are you ready to take a seat? Moro asks his readers to approach his book as if they're stepping into a barbershop unlike any other. And honestly, I invite you to do the exact same thing with us today. Just mentally pull up a chair and take a seat. Don't worry, no one's getting a bad buzz cut today. Just listen to the stories, observe the reflections, maybe laugh a little, think a little, and the most crucial part, take with you only what makes sense for your own life. And this brilliantly illustrates where Moro's journey actually began, in a very gritty, physical reality. He spent these absolutely grueling days as an apprentice barber, literally earning his calluses and feeling the true weight of the trade. And if that wasn't enough, he spent his afternoons working at a copy center just to make ends meet, before heading off to the Styling Academy at night. Talk about an exhausting season of transition. But as his instructors always told him, first you falter, then you learn. At that Styling Academy, the training was strictly hands-on with real clients. The instructor's philosophy was 100% grounded in reality. They knew for a fact that only those who've made mistakes on real clients know how to fix them when things inevitably go wrong in the shop. If a line went crooked, bam, the instructors were right there to correct it on the spot. It's such a perfect metaphor, isn't it? We can't just study life from a textbook. We literally have to get our hands dirty and make mistakes to truly understand how to course correct. Which brings us to this really wonderful concept, the barbershop as a mirror for life. Moro uses the physical, completely everyday act of cutting hair to represent a much deeper inward journey. Think about it. In the barbershop, you're trimming away the old to reveal something fresh and clean. You're building a foundation. Moro realized that sharing these daily observations wasn't just about cutting hair. It was really about giving voice to the invisible threads that bind us all together. It's about recognizing the hidden grace in our daily routines. But what I absolutely love is that Moro is wonderfully honest with us. He doesn't sit there and claim to have it all figured out. No way. He fully admits that there are days when he wakes up feeling deeply connected to the universe. He calls that the mystic. And then there are other days when he wakes up full of doubt, the skeptic. And you know what? That is just the natural ebb and flow of the human condition. Wisdom isn't about being perfectly enlightened every single second of every day. It's really about navigating both of these states. As Manuela Pereira beautifully notes in the book, we must dare to lose what is superfluous, to let go of the futile, if we are to discover the strength of what we are truly made of. Let's tie that back to the haircut metaphor. A haircut is literally the trimming of the superfluous. Now, relate that to our inner lives. What beliefs, habits, or anxieties are we carrying around that we simply do not need anymore? We absolutely have to trim away the futile to find our true foundational strength. Silence is a confession. I wanted to take an intentional pause there, because in Moro's work, silence is not just an absence of noise. It's a profound, invisible language all its own. In our super busy, chaotic, noisy world, silence often reveals the secrets we just aren't willing to speak out loud. Now, Moro beautifully transitions us from the gritty, tactile reality of the barbershop into the soaring mysticism of nature. He describes this one specific striking moment. He's leaving the academy, absolutely exhausted, at 10:30 at night. The air is crisp,
The streets are dead silent, and he looks up to find a massive, luminous orb dominating the sky, a full moon. This simple, everyday act of looking up from his grueling routine opens a literal door to the cosmic and the mystical. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how diverse cultures throughout history have viewed the moon as a powerful feminine divinity. Take the Greeks, for example. We have Artemis, the goddess of the hunt and the wild. She is associated with the crescent moon. When you think of Artemis, think of new beginnings, the sparking of youth, and this vital, forward-moving energy.
But contrast that with Hecate. Hecate is the guardian of the crossroads. She represents the dark moon. This is the realm of the unseen, the mysterious, and the deeply transformative. Mohoro brings in these mythological figures to really show us the moon's dual nature. Because just like the human condition, just like the mystic and the skeptic we talked about earlier, there is a time for bright, vital light and a time for hidden, quiet depth.
And this brings up a fascinating, super thought-provoking question that Morrow poses. It's well documented in various alternative studies that water reacts to frequencies and vibrations in its environment. So he asks, if water reacts to frequencies, well, what about us? Humans are beings woven almost entirely from water, up to 60% of the adult human body, in fact. So if the moon can pull the entire ocean and frequencies can alter water, how on earth are we being affected by the invisible energies all around us?
The logic here is incredibly relatable, because we're essentially like water. We constantly absorb the energy, the frequencies of the environments and people we're exposed to. I mean, we've all experienced this, right? Some rooms you walk into and you just instantly feel drained. Other environments completely heal and recharge you. Certain people make you feel light and inspired, while a conversation with someone else can leave you feeling as heavy as lead. It's because we're physically resonating with our surroundings.
So, to bring all of this together, the moon, the water, and our own inner resonance, Muro introduces something called the lunar water ritual. Now, don't worry, this isn't about some complex magic. It's actually a very grounded, practical way to connect with the cosmos. It's a beautiful way of blending our everyday, ordinary lives with the mystical cycles of nature that we so often just ignore.
He breaks this ancient, esoteric concept down into a highly accessible, three-step practice that you can absolutely try at home. First, simply place a container of water beneath the moonlight. Second, just allow it to sit there and absorb the unique vibration of that specific lunar phase, whether that's the bright vitality of a crescent moon or the transformative power of a full moon. And finally, use that water. Drink it or use it around your home to consciously welcome nature's energy right back into your physical body.
So, the crucial point is that the ritual represents something much deeper. Traditionally, this water is used for purification, protection, prosperity, and vitality. But above all, the whole shebang serves as a profound, simple reminder that we are intrinsically tethered to nature's cycles. We are not separate from the universe. We are a responding, resonating part of it.
As we near the end of our explainer today, I want to bring us back to Morrow's wonderfully humble menu approach to wisdom. He says, if an idea in his book resonates with you, keep it close. But if another feels totally foreign, toss it back to the universe. It recycles everything anyway. I absolutely love that. There is zero stress here, no blind faith required. True wisdom just strikes a chord when you are genuinely ready to hear it. I want to leave you with one final provocative question, inspired by Carlos Morrow's journey from the barber's chair to the cosmos. If life is a barbershop and your conscience is the sharpest pair of shears, what will your own conscience trim away today? What superfluous weight are you going to let fall to the floor so you can step forward feeling lighter, more present, and truly yourself? Thank you so much for taking a seat with me today on this explainer. Keep observing, keep reflecting, and I'll catch you next time.